Okay, guys, how about we do a little shop update? We definitely could use a little more driveway. Let's walk around and look at where we're at now. Doesn't look like a lot has changed, but really has. Let's just go look around. This was a bare building. There was absolutely nothing in this building. It was just the wood and the spray foam. And it's finally time, I think, to label, even though the office isn't done yet, so this is completely empty. That's probably, who knows, we'll see how it is, how it fills up. But it's time to put the covers on and label what we have right now. We did start putting all of our bolts and taps, and I hope we can afford some space somewhere for a bench to keep that little setup, because it's nice to walk over to find a hole saw or a drill bit and have them accessible. And in a toolbox, you can just close them so that they can stay. Obviously, we didn't close them. Yeah, left them all open. This is disarray. This is, assume that this is what the bench would look like at any given time during a regular job. Because we got the bench done and we haven't really settled into the bench, but when a job happens, there's always tables where crap is at. Got a couple of 6.4s moved around. These are about to get thrown through the machine. By machine, I mean shop. We did so much on, and I know a lot of you might not agree with how we did stuff. It might not be too freaking kosher, but you know, we're out in the country. We just made it work. Remember, there was nothing here. Nothing. We got the infrastructure highway going on back there. I can't even tell what you can see. Got this. That's our drain. Got the smallest possible space, and that's a bashing, knee bashing son of a gun right there. We can actually go back over here. Dang, we have multiple lights out. These things are tough. We've got ideas on how to, all they do is push together, and we're gonna have to remedy that. Let's turn the other light on. That is completely unmounted. Haven't decided yet where we want to put it at. So, yeah. Mounted this yesterday, the bench grinder, so that I can brush off valve stems real quick when we get done cutting the stems for setting stem height and champering them. Really, really nice. If everybody don't do that, you need to be doing that. Hit the top of the stem with a brass. I mean, you could try steel, but you better pay attention. Just steel's all right, I guess. Pay attention. I pulled the air. Okay, let's just look at it. Pulled air down from the compressors all the way on the other side of the shop. Let's go back up here. It's teed off. I'm doing this because we need to start right there. Oh, you can't see it. The air dryer is right there. Plumbed up top. Well, coming in from the building. Right there. There it is. Coming in, going over, and then straight down to the air dryer. All the air in the shops ran through the air dryer. And then up and tees up there. Well, it doesn't tee, does it? No, it didn't. Tees there. And this one comes down and basically feeds the whole back half of the shop is that tee right there. Because it's double redundant, I guess. But I did not go from here over to the shop, over to the washroom. But it's kind of complicated a little bit. I opted for not couplers. No couplers, no thread in, no swivels. I have had the best luck in the world with a simple freaking hose barb and hose clamp. When it's going to a piece of equipment that is never designed to be taken apart. I've done the fittings, I've done the couplers, and hose barb is gonna be the most, you can always buy a new freaking clamp and you can always buy a new hose. Very fast, very easy. It doesn't take even a pipe fitter to do. Stick it on and tighten the clamp on, done. So those two go to the VR10 the VR10 and the SG8. And I also teed in, well, after the regulator, see it's all shut off now. I don't leave the equipment with air pushed in it. And so closed off. When I turn it on, the equipment's happiest if it's regulated, pre-regulated to 100 pounds. The machines take like 90 to 100 pounds, but they're happiest if you pre-regulate them. Because we run 175 pounds here. So we're dropping it down to 100 there. And then going down VR10, SG8, and then I just did a simple hose. And this hose, let's follow it. Enter some Jeopardy music or something. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. The little bastard right there. Oh. Okay, you disappear there, so obviously you must be up on top of there. Somewhere. Okay. Yep. There you are. Oh my God, you turned red. You must be a little bashful. So then I painted it, and that comes down here to this, the surfacer. Right? Got a little shut off. Ran the air over. This really doesn't take air too much, but I keep it there to make it, try to keep it happy. No provision yet for air or power at the table. Not sure if we're gonna. I really would have liked to have, and we might do it someday, tap a hole up there on all the posts. Just tap it, thread it, tap it, be simple, 1/4 inch tap, thread a freaking fitting in it, and then pressurize the tubes. Make the tubes to where they're actually air reservoirs. That'd be very freaking cool. Because there's quite a bit in there by the time you do all 4 of them. It'd be really easy to do too. Run the max air across it, tap it in right there, and then just tap it into the posts. We'd be testing our welds, wouldn't we? Yes, we would. Come back here. We got a lot of it covered up. Oh, look at our little light. It's antique. I haven't figured out the hose hanging yet because we don't have any. We got to go shopping right now because really nothing has covers on it. Put 4 gang outlets almost everywhere, except for that nice little blue box right there. That's the only single gang outlet in the shop. We just made them all 4 gang. Like this one is just for the plug-in. Still have a couple of little pipe dream things I'd like to do, but we're just about ready to start working. Got some cool stuff coming with the crane. I'm gonna do some stuff up there. You'll see. It's gonna be freaking awesome. Hopefully I get it done, unless I'm not able to. Went ahead and opted for this old dirty bastard and this workhorse right here. We're gonna have them both plugged in, and I need to get a horse stall mat because I'm wondering how well that would do on a horse stall mat. I do not want to mount it because if we're doing something very disgusting, right by the door is so perfect because you can just push it right outside. If you're doing it, if it's really, really bad, just right outside. And for that point, put an outlet outside so you can just carry it out there and plug it in and go to town. Yeah. We got crap ends, crap hoses. We're going to get new hoses, but at least they're hooked up. Oh, see, it's dripping out of the freaking nozzle. That's a Snap-on nozzle. Now, why am I some kind of name brand tool guy? No, I'm really not. That's probably just an impulse buy. Like, must have got a truck done and had a couple dollars in the bank and said, sure, I'll take that hose. And it's leaking. Looks like damn dog chewed on it though, so somebody's been chewing on it. But we have, I'm gonna put shutoffs in between the hoses too. I thought about leaving, no, we'll put shutoffs there, and that's shut off to fill the spray cabinet. And mounted the little box. Look at that, it's not all the way down. And all of them are, this one thing I love, because I do not have to go to the breaker. This little guy right here, let's watch. Wait, let's follow it. It goes to the air dryer, okay? So I don't have to flip a breaker, and I don't have to run the air dryer when it's unnecessary, like right now. I want to be able to shut it off without hitting a breaker. So we take this little guy right here that has no cover, obviously, turn it on, and it blows out. The self-discharge blows out right there. It's a tight hole, it's nice. So we have that done now. Simple, But back to the little spray cabinet. I spent a lot of time on the little spray cabinet yesterday. A freaking crap load. We're almost set up for hoses because all of them are gonna have their own little water whip hoses. We have 50 footers on them right now, so you know, that's not gonna be that long. But that's how I set it up. That's water fill for the little spray cabinet. I teed off before the shut off, obviously, and then went down and did garden hose to PEX. And we'll do washing machine hoses. Nice, like this one should have two. Both of them might have 3 washing machine hoses hooked together. Very awesome setup for in a shop. Very nice. Oh, I think our water heater is leaking. Put elements in it. We need to clean them up. This was leaking too. I already spun that, but I just saw that that's leaking, so I have to get on that. We need to cut that zip tie. Twist it off. We do have a leak somewhere, but we'll figure it out. Okay, but what I was getting at is all the equipment's off, except the water heater. I don't have a shut off yet for the water heater. What do you guys think? You think I could put a light switch there and just break one of the legs? Because, I mean, we got pretty fat wire running the water heater. I mean, you think I could run it through and then I thought maybe I'll just get one of these disconnects. Get a disconnect so that when we want to shut the heat off. Like I said, I would like to be able to make this shop be able to idle and not have a recurring cost of running. You know, like if I just want to be able to shut stuff off. It's not that hard of a deal, right? Okay, so we have the big spray cabinet where at any given time you can walk up and turn the heat on. Okay, and turn the heat off and run it. Any given time, it's ready to go all the time. Freaking awesome. And this one, since it has a pump up top, it is more resilient by far than this one. This one, we have to keep a fan going at the back for the capacitor. Obviously the pump is going out. And from what Bryce is the guy I call. Bryce is, yeah. But when the capacitors start blowing, because the motor is using more electricity, it's signs that the motor's going bad. So to combat that, it's in a hot box back there. It's a $500 motor. It's in a box back there with it's full of hot water on the back, and the motor's banging like son of a gun. So we put a carpet fan. The thing moves quite a bit of air. And so here's my dilemma on here. I really want the carpet fan to turn on only when the motor's blowing. So that I don't have to touch it. So you can walk up, turn it on, and it works. Now when you do that, I spent a bunch of time inside this box. Had to kind of figure out some of it. I don't know much. But the fan, there's no way to show it. The fan kicks on. I just get over this box up here. We'll probably get it. I like it. It's freaking awesome. I just hooked this to the contactor, the capacitor, whatever the heck you want to call it, the box in there. And this outlet is hot only when the motor's running. So I'm gambling that I have enough power in this box to also supply this fan off of this motor. Now, hey, maybe we can get in a technical electronic discussion in the comments to show, like, make a video to show how I would do this to supply an accurate amount of power to the fan independent of the box. Yeah, I'd watch something like that, just applies to real world. Because this has outlets on it too. So in a perfect world, I would wire this, cut the fan off, and wire it in. Okay, but the problem with that is parts you buy now suck. So I want to be able to go get another fan, because without the fan, I believe the spray cabinet would be down, broken. So the fan is necessary. So I want to be able to plug and unplug and swap the fan with a commercially available fan at any given time. So that's why I opted to just leave a plug. So it could be changed real quick, bam, bam, and easy. Like, heck, I didn't even cut the zip tie off. But it's also not touching the ground, right? I mean, ideally, I would see, yeah, after a trip to the hardware store and maybe a couple of times, a piece of conduit rigid mounted on it. Yes, absolutely, most definitely. It's also on the bottom, which is very, very nice. Now, this was another trick, another tricky one, was to get the timer to function and be able to turn the heat on demand whenever I want and get the LED to work. We're not even going to get into that. I can mention in the comments that you'd like to know, because honestly, with the parts that are in this, it would not be hard to build your own spray cabinet. Be very easy. Once you have an understanding of how these things work, what on, off, enough power, whatever. I don't know everything about it, but I learned quite a bit on this. But I'd learned that we can walk up here now and flip that off, and it's still available to run, not consuming any electricity. Well, not consuming, I doubt any. Have not turned the Honer on yet. We ran the Honer power over to this side just to split it up a little, even though it's farther away from the box than the other one. A lot of this stuff I just put together with plans that it's probably going to be mounted to something in the future, right? Because that metal we put up, I finally put boards up top, made it look straighter. It was all curvy and all screwed up. They're not mounted at all. They're just hanging there. They're just hanging. And because I don't know what all we're going to want to do back there. And, you know, I didn't really feel the need to spend any time giving a dang about that. I got a couple of screws holding it up. It ain't going to fall down. We might want to take them down and use them somewhere else. I don't freaking know. But for right now, I'm storing them right there, and they seem to be, I kind of like what they, and boards like this, if we wind up going further, then me having these backer boards can just be put right behind the metal, right? Because there'll probably be 2x4s, and the sink should be done this week, probably. It should be done, maybe. Not the power. I'm gonna save that for another day. I'm not even gonna mess with that right now because we don't need nothing like that to operate. We're gonna get operating, and once I'm, what do you say, polishing your fingernails, running along, banging stuff out, and this will give us a project to do one day, you know, to go in and figure it out, because the motor does not look very good at all. I took a dryer apart last night, completely disassembled it because I wanted to see what the heating element was, because I kind of like a heating element would not be pretty bad to keep, right? Got a heating element. I don't know anything about how, haven't done anything with it. I just took it out. I've never messed with one of these, but I wonder if we can put a fan on it and make ourselves a little electronic turbo heater. I don't know how hot it gets in there. So you put that up on the shelf, and I'll play with it another day, like maybe the day before we mess with the sink. I don't know. That's all stuff's gonna be future. There's nothing to show there that has to do with any dang thing. Could use some freaking gas. Welder's freaking empty. Got a full roll of wire though. The Honer sure does look like she's just a trash can. Storage box. This is actually kind of the trash can, except the wood, keeping all the wood, but I'm wanting to get remodel stuff and get it put the hell away, get it gone. We have all the wire, everything that's rolled up, try to put on that pallet. I don't know where we're gonna, we need another pallet for the remodel box or a tote. Then all our other stuff, there's just a lot of crap that we need to organize and put up. What else we do? What'd I forget? Huh? Well, there's our, I'm sure there's a lot I forgot. Putting all this stuff up, and our outlets that we energize down on the bottom. Those are hot. Plug them in. Yep. The sink is hooked to hot water. We now have hot water. It's not all the way done. Oh, I'm so loving the Gojo. So right now we're gonna open up these boxes, and hope I didn't put any in spots, because that one, oh yeah, we made it bigger. Yeah, so bang those out and label it. Oh, Julie already labeled it. Oh, I actually got a little grumpy with her when she did that. So, and then we'll make our list. And if we go out here, at the very end, let's finally, hopefully maybe you guys come around and watch a little bit of this, because there is our next job. It's on the lot, ready to go. It's a 90,000 mile excursion, and it's actually, diag video will be coming on that, because once we do it, we're gonna, I don't need to do a diag. Well, I kind of do, but most parts have become available lately. We don't have to wait a long time. And so I'd like to, once we start the diag video, our procedure has always been that while I'm taking it apart and getting it going, Julie will spend the time to parts. She will go through the parts. And then we got Dawn here too. So Dawn being able to do parts and Julie doing parts together. Yeah, I mean, once we pull that in, I want to focus on it. I don't want to pull that thing in and then have to bounce over because I need this air hose over here, or I need an outlet over here, or I need to wash all the parts. This looks like disarray of crap, but this is all the fixturing that goes in those cabinets right there. So I want the sink done so that we can wash them before we put them in there, because a lot of it is freaking nasty and a lot of it is just fixtures. I mean, it's fixtures and they're freaking dirty. So we're gonna wash them real quick before we put them up in, because yeah, they're actually pretty disgusting. Put all our folding tables up, most of them, all the ones out of this room. So there's our little update. Excursion coming next. I think next. There's actually quite a few. We got quite a few that we don't know, because White Dooley's also put that in the list. That thing, yep, it's coming. Like, that was actually supposed to be the first one, is that one right there. But somehow this freaking excursion came in and was like, I guess, I mean, we could do that, or we could do that. Yeah, one of the two. And then Jason, man, let's revisit that. You know, I really do think that I might just want to borrow that engine because it's withering. It's withering. I think, why don't we put it in Julie's excursion? You know, put the whole drivetrain in it and keep it running. We'll just borrow it, right? I mean, it'd be better to borrow it in a truck, and that way I'll rebuild the engine that's in the excursion, and then shoot, if and when you find something, heck yeah, toss us a couple bucks to swap the engine back out, and boom. Then at least, you know, we really need to get it out and put it in something. There's too much investment in it, and I've got the excursion calling for it, and we've got this machine right here that can, especially the swap. This is what we never did before. Our procedure. Cab off right here. Chassis push forward. It might be heads off there, but I wouldn't count on it. I would not count on it. I would probably count on taking the heads off with the overhead crane. No more lifting that crap. I don't give a damn about lifting that crap. So we can raise the body. Chassis gets pushed through here. Right here, there's a wash. There's a big drain right there. Wash. Well, not wash. No, not wash. Disassemble. Okay, over here, it's still dirty. It's still fairly dirty. We can wash just enough so that get the big parts of grease off. Right, off of, so that way less cleaning on the bolts and stuff. We can get all that off here and get the engine tore apart. And while we're tearing the engine apart, we are right next to the cleaners. Wonderful. Okay, so the engine gets apart, heads off, everything's apart, engine block. Now, if it requires engine out job, which most of them, every now and then we'll do ones that aren't engine out. I don't think the Excursion's engine out, depending on what we see. There's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't even have bad injectors, and I don't even know if it has blown hand gaskets, guys. I think it might be actually good, but we'll see. That's just off hearsay of what I've seen. But then we can lift the engine out, lift the transmission out and transfer case, and have the rolling chassis. Okay, rolling chassis with grease spots on here and there, and a little bit of rust here and there, and probably messed up. Okay, so then we grab the skid steer, put the hitch in it, where you can just pick up the front of the frame and steer it around, right? Pick up the front and steer it by the back, and it's like a cart, so you're driving around. And then we'll put it over here in this bay where the Hotsie is, where they wash everything in the whole world. So, and then the chassis is right here. And this is where the chassis is going to, we're going to spray them now. We're going to paint them right here. Just spray the frames with a HVLP gun. And Cody, I say we, Cody, I think Cody can make that wonderful. I think he can run with that, and we got a thing, and it's going to be easy, okay? It's one thing when it's a pain in the butt to do something, but if we can work a machine out to where it just comes in and gets done, it's a normal routine, and heck yes, that's what we want to do. So now, while he's doing that, we're going to be working on the engine on the other side. And he's going to be done way before us, which is awesome because then he'll be over there, right? Learning what we're doing. And I'm going to learn a little bit about HVLP gun too, because, I mean, they don't like to, but Cody can do some body work. I mean, you're going to pay though. Don't even think you're not going to pay. You want to do some cab corners and some rust up on your bed right there while your truck's here. I mean, you know, and there's another side of it too, is that we ain't going to claim to be the best. The best, what's the best? God himself picked the best. And we don't want to claim that, but, you know, I mean, if you got big rusted holes and stuff and we can make it as best as we can. And, you know, as we do more and do more, who knows? You know, Cody's been knocking them out and he's been doing all kinds of stuff with welding on there. And you know, ain't nobody ever walked out of their freaking womb and knew how to do every damn thing. Cody's figuring it out right now. It's absolutely freaking awesome. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, you'd be invested in the high point of the market if you want us to do bedsides, but we can do bedsides. Or not even bedsides, patch panels. Cab corners and patch panels. But, I mean, it ain't on sale. It is not on sale, so if you want us to do it, be ready. I mean, it's not going to be stupid, but it will be more than Joe Blow will do down at the body shop. It'll be a little bit more. And, I mean, we're going to be doing it while your engine is tore apart, too. So, you know, there's that little bit of tidbit of scheduling that comes into convenience that allows for more cost. Am I wrong or am I right? I think I'm right. Just because it would take more time. I mean, you know, just because it's here don't mean he's going to spend days and days and days on it for free, right? You wouldn't expect that. I wouldn't. That'd suck. I'd feel bad, like the first day I come home from work. So right here we'll be disassembling and, oh, what do you think? That's pretty exciting. We're going to have an area here, no more engine hoist, which I hate moving chassis out of the bodies though. I hate it. You know, trying to line them all up and freaking hate it. Sometimes you get lucky and bang it right spot, and other times, I mean, if you pay attention to the body lines, if you pay attention to the sides of the beds, it's not I mean, when you've moved it, you know, it's easy to be a 1/4 inch off on one side and all haywire. All the bolts are unlined up, which, I mean, if you use a strap and strap it from the chassis to the body, it ain't too bad. I'm playing it out more than what it actually is, but I just like bitching about stuff. Don't I? No, not really. Okay, there's our update. We're doing breaker boxes today, and then, I don't know. Let's make it happen.